first few minutes of the CMA Summit on Diversity, and the fire alarm went off. This weekend I attended the Summit on Diversity and Inclusion at Oregon State University in Corvallis. It was sponsored by the College Media Association, CMA, and Orange Media Network, which is the unified student media of Oregon State University. It's the first time they've ever done this event, so no one really knew how it was going to go, and we had decided to go just a few weeks ago. My co-editor and I at the newspaper first heard about the event when we did editor therapy, which is on weeknights on Wednesdays, where student editors from colleges across the country do an online chat about problems facing student media. There was a session about diversity on there, and we had heard about this event in Oregon, and we're like, oh, that's cool. And then when we were starting staff training for the year, our advisor asked if anyone wanted to go to this, and we were already knowing what it was. We were like, oh yeah, we want to go to this. We want to be a part of this first ever Summit on Diversity and Inclusion for college media. And it was really an interesting event. When we got there on Friday, September 30th, we checked in at the Memorial Union, which is just their big building where they did all the events in the conference rooms. We checked in, got our goodies, pens, laptop bags, name badges, stuff like that. And it was after a 4.5-hour drive. We were doing welcomes and introductions. We were sitting with strangers that we had never met before at different tables. I was sitting with people from Portland State University, Oregon State University, some people from Arizona, and it was a really cool group. And we were at an activity where we had to put together kind of some rules for the convention, and rules that we would all adhere by. And as we were doing that, the fire alarm went off, and the building had to be evacuated. First few minutes of the CMA Summit on Diversity, and the fire alarm went off. But it was such a great way to get off a good start. But I'm excited. Photo bombing? Oh, video bombing.
Just a little bit. This is how we start a conference here at Oregon State. We set our school on fire. It's just such a hot conference that this building over here could not take it. So we have to start out here with a little fire drill. It's practice, I promise.
So a good way to start the conference. I'm excited though. Sorry I haven't vlogged the trip so far. I've just been doing B-roll shots of the drive on the freeway. Oh, there's Shelby.
Way too close to me to vlog. We just sit really close to each other.
Yeah.
And this one. Can I be in your video?
Yeah. Everyone here's really nice.
And Teresa, so they made it out okay. They made it out okay. We're good. We're good.
Alright, we're gonna walk. So we were standing outside for a while, and then we got to go on a tour of Orange Media Networks in that time, and just had a look at their studios and stuff like that. It was really cool because I'd never been able to see a complete newsroom like that, especially at the college level. For our newspaper, we only have 14 people, and we have one office, so we don't really have that luxury like these four-year universities do, where they can just do all these different programs. But I mean, it's really awesome. It was cool to have that tour and be guided through it like that. I mean, it was really awesome. After we got back from the fire alarms, we started our first session, which was Seeing Through Others' Lenses. It was hosted by Jackie Alexander, who works with Tiger Media at Clemson University in South Carolina, and she had a lot to say about implicit bias in the media and kind of the ways that the media, especially college and professional media, may do things unintentionally that kind of is biased in a way, such as photocropping. And I had never really seen that put into action, so actually seen an example of a photo that had been manipulated for a certain story, and the different emotions people had because that photo was manipulated was really eye-opening. Then we sat through a few different panels where people kind of discussed some of the things going on at Oregon State University and universities around the country dealing with racism, prejudice, bias in the media and in organizations. And that was a really cool panel. I mean, it was very open and very honest, and I think people learned a lot from it. After that, we had dinner, and they provided pizza to us, and then Frank Lamonte from the Student Press Law Center came and talked about First Amendment rights and First Amendment law. Frank is honestly one of my favorite people. I've met him multiple times at conferences I've been to for both high school journalism and college journalism. The best part of the first night that we were there was when the Seattle Times presented the Under Our Skin project. So they've been working for months to put together. They interviewed 18 people and put together these videos, and they wrote articles about it. And it was honestly just the coolest thing. They sat people down and had them basically say, like, what do these words mean to you? And they would, like, describe kind of things that were going on in society. I mean, it was just honestly so awesome. If you want to check it out, it's the Seattle Times. It's the Under Our Skin project. I mean, it was just really inspiring that, you know, even as college media, we could do something like that. We could do something that has kind of that magnitude and that power to where people are still talking about it over 3 months after it was published. Hotel room tour. It's not much, but we're only staying for one night, so it doesn't need to be. That's James.
Hello.
Yeah, it's kind of small, but it's fine.
It's one night.
It's got a microwave and a fridge, and a big TV,
That's a decent size.
and it has free high-speed internet. It's adequate for one night. So now we're gonna go to get dessert. Day 2 wasn't as great as the first day was, but there was still a lot of insight given, and we had a lot of ideas because of the sessions on Day 2. Seattle Times finished their Under Our Skin presentation, which lasted for a few hours on Saturday morning. Then we talked about kind of universities and how to create an inclusive university environment. Then we had lunch and we talked about inclusion in the newsroom and how to get different types of people, different minds, different ideas included into the news media at colleges, because we really are there to represent the students. That's why most newspapers have been founded at the college level, is to give students information and entertainment. And if you're not catering to all the different student groups and you're not letting their voices be heard, you're really not doing your job of being the voice of the students. Because Day 2 was running behind, our final session was Conflict on Campus, where it was a student-led panel. And it was interesting. I mean, there was definitely a lot of people who believed different things on each side of the issue. So it was a really interesting session. And then we left at that point because we had to make the 4.5-hour drive back home. But we missed some of the later sessions. We didn't go to Breaking Barriers or Beyond Holidays and Festivals or the final questions in like the wrap-up event, which I saw on Twitter. Like they did a bunch of story ideas based off of things that had been said at the conference, and it looks like they did a lot of talking and collaborating. So I'm kind of bummed that we missed out on that part, but I'm glad that we were able to attend this first ever summit on diversity and inclusion. It's just after 4 p.m. We're leaving Oregon State University after the Summit on Diversity conference. It's not quite over yet, but to make the 4-hour road trip home, we gotta leave now so that we at least get home by 8 or 9 p.m.
I don't have to call your mother.
It's kind of windy right now. And leaves are falling. Definitely looks like fall. I didn't film a whole lot from this event, and that was simply because we were so focused on what the speakers were saying that it almost seemed rude to just take out the camera and start filming or taking pictures of them. So I mean, I had some clips from the days, but really we were jotting down notes and we were really giving them our undivided attention and seeing what they actually had to say. We were listening and not just hearing what they had to say. We hope you enjoyed this week's video. It was a little bit different than any videos we've done in the past, and it's our first video in almost a month, so we'll be coming back with more frequent videos, and hopefully we won't have a 3.5 week gap again.